I know, I'm a bit late with the Agatha All Along episode 7 review, but I'm here now, so let's review it. So I've mentioned this before in previous reviews, but just the wardrobe for each and every character in this show is always amazing. This time around, they have Agatha literally dress up as a witch. Literally, a witch. And Teen dress up as this wizard. You know, I liked the costumes used in this episode and the board game that happened in this episode with the swords falling down the ceiling. Very well done stuff there. And we actually get like more of a background episode for Lilia, because we were all probably wondering, when would we figure out some things about this character? And guess what? This episode, on top of like the board game type theme that this episode carries with like the swords and the cards, this episode focuses heavily on the backstory of Lilia, like her old covenant of witches, you know? And I really did like that entire aspect of the episode, because I really do like the character of Lilia, and I was waiting for her to get her own little episode where it tells us her backstory. We also get the return of Jennifer in this episode too, so that's also awesome. These characters just keep getting better and better story-wise with each and every episode, and I'm very happy that they're doing that. But on the bad news side of things, we don't get to see Rio at all in this episode, which her character at this point is too important to the story for her to not be in like every episode. You know, like with each and every episode, I feel like I'm calling it the best episode of the series, but this is the best episode of the series. Last episode was the worst of the series. I did not like that episode really at all, basically. I found very little enjoyment in it, but this time around with this episode, amazing. And honestly, with this show ending in a few days, this first season, on October 31st, I honestly am very excited to see how they're gonna wrap it up, because it's a 2-episode finale, because on October 31st, they're dropping episode 8 and episode 9 back to back. And I'm excited, you know, and I know they're probably gonna do their best to wrap up the story that they've been establishing throughout the TV series so far. And I hope that we get the return of previous characters that have been in the show, you know, like those earlier episodes. And I really do hope that Evan Peters makes a return to the show before it ends, because that'd be kind of sad if he didn't, because I really enjoyed his character in the previous episode of Agatha. But this show is just so awesome, man. It is definitely probably the best thing Marvel has pumped out show-wise ever since Loki season 2. Now, What If was amazing, but not as good as that first season. But this show is just honestly really well done. All the cast members do their very best with the story that is being given to them, especially the actress of Agatha Harkness. But yeah, this episode's events, the way it happens, like telling the backstory of Lilia, is very well done. Them going through tunnels and then eventually meeting back up with Teen and Agatha, you know, their interaction was really cool, while getting flashbacks of Lilia's backstory via explanation from the leader of the Covenant who passed away. And the ending of this episode is actually sad, because Lilia falls down and gets impaled by like thousands of swords. Because like at the beginning of the episode, you could see Lilia is like falling and in slow-mo, and that really comes full circle by the end of this episode, where it turns out she was falling and she lands on a bunch of swords, getting impaled, killing her. Which, the death of Lilia was necessary. Within every show, there's always character deaths that are necessary for the story, and I feel like this was necessary. Lilia is one of the best characters in the show by far, and her character's death was devastating, but who knows, maybe she isn't gone. But if she is, then honestly, I'm okay with that, because they did her death very satisfyingly, you know? They went full circle with her character. Like at the beginning of the episode, she was falling. Where was she falling? Then at the end of the episode, we find out where she was falling. She was falling and got impaled by a bunch of swords. And that scene was very devastating, but really made the episode the best out of the bunch. But yeah, I found severe enjoyment in this episode. Like, they explain everything from previous episodes and bring it all together and set us up for the season 1 finale very perfectly. This is a 10 out of 10 episode, 100%. I just can't get over how good it was, how emotional it was, how suspenseful it was. It was honestly everything it should be. Unfortunately, the horror has kind of died down as the episodes have went along. Like those earlier episodes I was mentioning, yeah, this is a show you should definitely watch, specifically in October. But like, because at the beginning of the season, like episode 4 and 5, you were seeing demons, you were seeing other Halloweenish things going on within the show. And now, like, those later episodes, you're not really getting that, which kind of sucks because I was enjoying that element of this series. But, you know, they moved on from it, and it's still very, very good. No complaints whatsoever, really. But yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 episode. It's definitely the best out of the bunch so far, and I just hope that they could nail down this finale for this season. So, only time will tell, really, and when we get those last 2 episodes, I will be doing a review for it and telling you if they really did end the story in a satisfying way, because at this point, I already know there's not going to be a season 2. There's almost never a season 2 for any show. The only times we got lucky with a season 2 was Loki and What If. And Loki was ended after season 2, which story-wise makes sense, but anything else doesn't, because I love Loki. It's the best show out of the bunch, and it's definitely, like, in my top 100 favorite shows of all time, you know? But yeah, this was my review for Agatha All Along, episode 7, and in conclusion, I'm very excited to see how this first season comes to a close. Hopefully it's very satisfying and closes up all the story arcs that this season gave us, and yeah, take care, guys.